Welcome to Mystic Realms Recap. Please like, share, and subscribe. Enjoy today's episode.
In the territory, holy radiance permeated. In every corner, there was a strong presence of divine and luminous magic. The radiance from the watchtower was overshadowed. At this moment, in the central square of the territory, hundreds of beautiful angels gathered together. Their hands crossed and placed on their chests. Their expressions on their beautiful cheeks were solemn and devout. A low chant emerged from the lips of the angels. They were praying to the great Lord of Holy Light. Not only the angels, but also the goblins and gray dwarves who were eating, all knelt on the ground and prayed together with the angels. The changes happening in the territory were nothing short of a miracle for the goblins and gray dwarves. They could only express their inner shock through sincere prayers and their even more fervent belief in the Overlord. It was a long time after the changes in the territory ended that the goblin and gray dwarf believers slowly finished their prayers. However, the fanaticism and reverence in their expressions remained undiminished. Praise the highest holy light. The great Lord of Holy Light has shown us a miracle with his supreme divine power. The territory has expanded, and our influence has become stronger. I believe that under the protection of the Lord of Holy Light, we can follow in the footsteps of the holy messengers and conquer this world. Where the light shines, it is the territory of the Lord of Holy Light. The unwavering faith in the Lord will bring glory to our goblin tribe. The glory of reviving the tribe. The goblins and gray dwarves in the territory were extremely excited. This miracle made their belief in Lin Yu even more fervent. Hall of the Overlord. Lin Yu took a deep breath and communicated with myriad worlds floating island, with his mind once again opening a summoning black hole. A few minutes ago, he summoned a fully equipped angel squadron. This was because according to the summoning ratio provided by myriad worlds floating island, it was necessary to gather 10 angel squadrons to form a small angel army in order to summon a six-winged angel. Now, 10 angel squadrons had been gathered. Naturally, he summoned the six-winged angel as soon as possible. It was strange that whether it was this summoning or the summoning of the angel squadron just now, Lin Yu did not feel that sense of being watched again. Of course, this was not important. Lin Yu didn't think much about it either, because he had more important things to do now. His eyes stared without blinking at the summoning black hole, anticipating the arrival of his first six-winged angel. It had to be said that the price of a six-winged angel was really expensive, requiring 1,000 gold coins to summon, 5 times more expensive than a four-winged angel, 20 times more expensive than a two-winged angel. It's expensive, there must be a reason for it. Just as Lin Yu muttered to himself, a bright light suddenly appeared in the black hole ahead. Soon, the light source rapidly grew larger, and the infinite darkness in the black hole seemed to be illuminated by that light source, revealing an incredibly strange scene. It was an extremely shocking visual experience. At least Lin Yu was captivated by it. His gaze never moved away from that point of light. Finally, she appeared. A tall figure, exquisitely delicate face with perfect proportions, golden shoulder-length hair, and holding a flaming angel sword. She descended through the air with a powerful and holy aura. Behind her were 3 pairs of symmetrical, snow-white angel wings. Between her wings, there emanates an endless holy radiance, dazzling and captivating. This is a six-winged angel. Judging from the equipment she wears, she is also a war-class angel under the command of the 12-winged throne angel, skilled in charging into battle. However, unlike other two-winged angels and four-winged angels, her angelic armor is platinum, occasionally shimmering with golden light. The angelic sword in her hand is covered in countless mysterious runes, and intense golden flames burn on it. This equipment surpasses any two-winged angel and four-winged angel. Praise you, great Lord of Holy Light. Thank you for summoning me. Approaching, the six-winged angel of strength immediately bows to Lin Yu, grateful and reverent. At the same time, she solemnly says, I swear to use the angelic sword in my hand to slay all heretics who dare to blaspheme the holy radiance. Your glory will endure forever. Very good. Lin Yu can't suppress the smile on his face. The appearance of the six-winged angel is enough to let him sleep well and have good dreams tonight. The holy radiance be with you. This is Lin Yu's response to the six-winged angel of strength in front of him. When he says these words, he feels a bit like a charlatan. But then again, as the god of faith of the angelic race, his main duty is to spread his beliefs to the myriad worlds and gather followers. Isn't he the biggest charlatan? Then, Lin Yu opens the information panel of this six-winged angel to examine it. Six-winged angel of strength. Initial level, 9th level. Growth potential, lower true god. Possesses battle techniques, divine cross sword, holy light slash, divine shield, faith judgment. Introduction. The six-winged angel of strength under the command of the 12-winged throne angel possesses indomitable will, unwavering faith, and incredibly powerful combat strength. They are the true angelic divine race. The true angelic divine race. This is the evaluation of the floating island towards the six-winged angel of strength. Or it can be said that all six-winged angels are the true angelic divine race, because their growth potential is at the level of true God. Before ascending to godhood, the breakthrough of the realm of six-winged angels will not encounter any obstacles. As long as they continue to kill enemies and obtain a massive amount of origin energy, they can easily become gods. Compared to six-winged angels, the growth potential of two-winged angels and four-winged angels is only at the level of demigod. If they cannot achieve bloodline evolution, it will be difficult for two-winged angels and four-winged angels to become gods and remain at the level of demigod for a long time. That's why the floating island says that six-winged angels are the true angelic divine race. They can easily become gods. Initial level is 9th level. Stronger than apex level units with an initial level of 4th level. I don't know how much. Lin Yu raises his eyes and looks at the six-winged angel of strength in front of him, saying, with your status, I believe you can easily kill king-level powerhouses of other races. Facing Lin Yu, the six-winged angel of strength keeps her head slightly lowered, with a solemn expression. Her bright pupils are a simple golden color, giving a very noble feeling. Her face is exceptionally beautiful, with flawless fair skin, plump lips, long and curved eyelashes. With her head slightly lowered, her face appears more three-dimensional. Below that is a pointed chin and a slender neck. Further down, there is a round, full, and upright figure. Overall, her figure is tall and curvaceous. Just like all other angels, her appearance is perfect without any flaws. But if you add the 6 angelic wings behind her, her beauty becomes even more stunning, unmatched by other 2-winged angels and 4-winged angels. Lord of Holy Light, please rest assured. The 6-winged angel of strength says with utmost respect, firm faith is my sword. In the face of king-level heretics, I can slay them with a single sword. Very good. Lin Yu becomes even happier. After thinking for a moment, he says to the 6-winged angel of strength, from now on, your name is Rain, and I grant you the authority to command the angel legion of the territory. From now on, you are a legion commander. In fact, the 6-winged angel of strength is not suitable to be the legion commander. Among the 3 orthodox factions of the angel race, the most suitable candidates for legion commanders are the seraphim, angel lords, and dominion angels. Unfortunately, Lin Yu does not currently possess a 6-winged dominion angel. Therefore, for the time being, the 6-winged angel of strength, Rain, will temporarily lead the angel legion of the territory. Once the 6-winged dominion angel is summoned, Rain can become the right-hand man of the dominion angel and assist in managing the angel legion of the territory. Currently, Lin Yu already has 10 fully equipped angel squads under his command. In addition, there is a team of angels led by Aida and Sally. The total number of angels exceeds 500, enough to form a small-scale angel legion. From angel squads to angel legions, this is a qualitative breakthrough. Lin Yu has reason to believe that there are not many overlords on the island who possess legions. Even if there are, they would be low-level overlords or middle-level overlords. Recruiting low-level units and middle-level units is very cheap, with the former only requiring 5 gold coins and the latter only requiring 10 gold coins. With cheap recruitment prices, the expansion of the army naturally happens quickly. As for those high-level overlords and apex-level overlords, the probability of them having legions is very low. After all, they are not as wealthy as Lin Yu. Unless there are unexpected circumstances, Lin Yu is the first apex-level overlord to possess a fully equipped legion. Praise you, great Lord of Holy Light. To become a legion commander under your command is my honor. The six-winged angel of strength, Rain, said excitedly, I will do my best to clear all the heretics who refuse to bow their heads to the holy light. Lin Yu nodded with a smile. Then he said to Rain, It's about time. Go. Lead your legion to the world outside the territory and eliminate those evil undead creatures. This will be your first battle. After the nighttime war is over, lead the angel legion into the breeding area of entering spirit. That's a good place. There, you can recover your magic power faster and have a chance to help you achieve bloodline evolution and become higher-ranking angels. Yes, my lord. The six-winged angel of strength, Rain, immediately obeyed respectfully, and she firmly remembered the orders of the Lord of Holy Light. Then, she left the Hall of the Overlord and gathered the various angel squads that had gathered in the territory square. With Rain's status as a six-winged angel, coupled with her position as a legion commander, she had enough authority to command the beautiful angels. Soon, hundreds of angels, led by the six-winged angel of strength, Rain, flew out of the territory in a mighty manner and headed straight for the undead monsters in the wilderness. At the same time, the goblins and gray dwarves in the territory also took action. They formed 2 goblin teams and a larger gray dwarf team, chasing after the war horn of the Angel Legion, and rushed out of the territory. The war began in an instant. In a short moment, the outside world was filled with the sound of battle. Within hundreds of meters around Lin Yu's territory, there were intense battlefields everywhere. Looking around, there were dazzling rays of holy light blooming in patches. This shocking scene was completely incomparable to the first night battle a few days ago. Compared to that time, the overall strength of Lin Yu's territory has increased by more than 10 times. Not to mention the undead creatures of the middle and low levels on the battlefield. Even if the Skeleton King, Lane, appeared now, it would be killed by the angels. After all, the one commanding the Angel Legion is a six-winged angel at level 9. I need to change tomorrow's plan. Originally, Lin Yu's plan was to let the angel squads continue hunting monsters in the wilderness tomorrow, until the highest level Aida and Sally both reached level 9, and then go to conquer the Skeleton King, Lane, and the two-headed demon tribe. But now, the situation has changed. Angelia suddenly revealed a blueprint for the watchtower, not only upgrading Lin Yu's territory to a high-level village, but also summoning a six-winged angel. In terms of the combat power of the six-winged angel of strength, Rain, it is not a big problem to kill the Skeleton King, Lane, with one sword, or to slay the king-level chieftain of the double-headed demon tribe. We can summon a few dwarves later to ask them. See if their tribe knows where the burial place of the Skeleton King, Lane, is. If they know, we can directly open the Easter egg tomorrow. Otherwise, we will go raid the double-headed demon tribe. Without thinking further, Lin Yu continued to sort his spoils. First, there were gold coins. After summoning a fully equipped team of angels and the six-winged angel of strength, Rain, he still had over 2,200 gold coins. Then there were 17 pieces of equipment and 4 blueprints. Most of them were ordinary equipment, with only one piece being a supreme grade equipment with special attributes, but it was only level 5 and far less valuable than the wind boots currently being auctioned. After taking a look at the information of this equipment, Lin Yu lost interest and put it up on the trading platform for auction. A level 5 supreme grade equipment with ordinary special attributes would probably only be worth around 5 to 600 gold coins. As for the other ordinary equipment, Lin Yu temporarily stored them away. He planned to wait for the equipment from the blacksmith shop to be delivered later, and then throw them all onto the trading platform for sale. The dozens of pieces of equipment he listed yesterday were snatched up by professionals in just a few seconds, If nothing unexpected happened, the same would happen today. Because the equipment market was far from saturated. Most combat professionals were still lacking equipment. The ordinary equipment that Lin Yu listed in bulk, although not cheap, was at least not unreasonably priced, so it was well liked by professionals. It must be said that this was a savvy equipment merchant. As long as he didn't become greedy, he would definitely make a lot of money and receive the gratitude of many buyers, which was truly a win-win situation. The last 4 blueprints were all for wooden houses. Among all the basic blueprints, the drop rate for the wooden house blueprint was the highest. So, Lin Yu was not disappointed. Moreover, he even obtained the watchtower blueprint, so it was too much to ask for other special blueprints. The goddess of luck might even come down and hammer him. The auction for the wind boots is about to end. Later, when I list the ordinary equipment in bulk, I will earn several thousand gold coins. At my current rate of development, on average, I can gather a fully equipped team of angels in 2 days and then summon a 6-winged angel. Of course, it's also possible to be even faster. Once I have the middle-level blacksmith shop, it's not impossible to summon a small angel legion in a day. After enduring a few more days, I can upgrade my territory to a town. Lin Yu might even be able to directly summon an 8-winged angel. The initial level of the 6-winged angel is 9. The initial level of the 8-winged angel, wouldn't it be king level directly? In terms of the position of the 8-winged angel, it would probably have no problem directly killing enemies at the transcendent level. Then it would be the summoning of the 10-winged angel, 12-winged angel. The more he thought about it, the more excited Lin Yu became. He even felt that he was only 1 or 2 steps away from being invincible in the world. Hiss, calm down, calm down. Lin Yu quickly slapped his slightly flushed face. If he continued to indulge in unlimited fantasies like this, even if the goddess of luck came, she would probably give him a big slap. This was not a good idea. The burial ground. This is the territory of the Skeleton King, Lin, located in a corner of the underground world. There is also an underground passage near the burial ground, and after passing through this passage to the surface world, Lin Yu's territory is not far away. Therefore, the Skeleton King, Lin, is very worried. If Lin Yu discovers this underground passage, his territory will definitely be exposed. When they first met, the Skeleton King, Lin, did not pay much attention to Lin Yu. But after last night's battle, the Skeleton King, Lin, deeply realized what terrifying growth speed means. It is therefore wary of Lin Yu, afraid that Lin Yu will come to the underground world to cause trouble for it. So, the first thing it did after returning to its territory was to dispatch a strong force to guard the underground passage. But it's not over yet. Tonight, the Skeleton King, Lin, led a group of high-level undead to seek help from the neighboring Dark Elf tribe. The location of the Dark Elf tribe is not far from the underground passage. Therefore, the Skeleton King, Lin, believes that those arrogant Dark Elves have an obligation to join forces with it to defend against the otherworldly overlord, Lin Yu. Compared to the surface world, the underground world has no day and night. The environment is always dim. However, the underground world is not completely dark. On the contrary, the illumination here is quite sufficient, and even ordinary people can see things around them with their vision. Because the underground world has countless things that emit light. Stones, insects, plants, and so on. Many things can emit light. There are also rivers of red magma flowing. These things provide enough light sources for the underground world, so it is not completely blind. After traveling for more than 10 kilometers, the Skeleton King, Lin, and the group of undead creatures finally arrived within the territory of the Dark Elf tribe. Before they could continue forward, arrows came whistling through the air. Swish, swish, swish. Dozens of arrows crossed hundreds of meters, as fast as lightning, and accurately shot towards the Skeleton King, Lin, and the others. The Skeleton King, Lin, reacted the fastest. Its huge body took 2 steps back. The Skeleton Knight standing beside it, on the other hand, stepped forward to meet the arrows, swinging his knight's spear repeatedly, shattering each and every one of the arrows. Stop! Friendly Dark Elves, we mean no harm. On the other side, A skeleton mage wearing a decaying gray robe stepped forward, shaking his soul fire and mental power, shouting towards the dim area hundreds of meters away. After a long time, a group of figures emerged from behind obstacles. They were all wearing tight leather armor, revealing smooth jade arms and slender, shiny white legs. Each of them had a tall and well-proportioned figure. Their faces were also extremely beautiful. It is worth noting that they had pointed, elf-like ears, which are the symbol of the elven race. But unlike other elves, their eyes were dark red. Between their lips, two symmetrical fangs would occasionally be revealed. Although their fangs were not as exaggerated as those of vampires, they were sharper and more pointed than normal canine teeth. This appearance was a perfect template for evil creatures. And these figures were the dark elves that the Skeleton King, Lin, wanted to find. There were a total of more than a dozen of them. They appeared about 200 meters away, each holding weapons such as bows and swords, vigilantly watching the Skeleton King, Lin, and the group of undead creatures. At this moment, a dark elf with a slender waist walked out, smiling mockingly, evil undead creatures appearing here, claiming that they mean no harm. Such an exaggerated lie is even more unbelievable than the fact that the goddess of light and the goddess of darkness are sisters. According to ancient legends, the goddess of light and the goddess of darkness were sisters. But no one has ever believed it. But this is the truth. Dark elves, bring your tribe leader here. The Skeleton King, Lin, shook his mental power, expressing the purpose of his visit. I have important matters to discuss with your tribe leader. Skeleton King Lin? Looking at the nearly 5-meter-tall massive body, the faces of the dark elves changed slightly. There was a hint of fear in their expressions. The Skeleton King, Lin, was a king-level powerhouse, possessing formidable combat power no less than their tribe leader. At this moment, the dark elf smiled and said, "So it's the esteemed Lin, who rules the burial ground. I'm curious about what has guided your great presence here." The power of another world. King Lich Ryan's brief response. The dark elf lightly covered her lips and giggled, saying, "Your Majesty Ryan, you really know how to scare people. What does it have to do with us underground creatures if those professionals from other worlds are on the surface world? But if your Majesty Ryan insists on meeting our tribal chief, then please come with us yourself." King Lich Ryan fell silent immediately. It is an undead, not an idiot. If it goes alone, those dark elves will definitely dismantle its bones one by one, and then hang its head up as decoration. For evil creatures, being untrustworthy is normal. King Lich Ryan said, "There is an overlord from another world on the surface world whose growth rate is terrifying. Soon, his strength may threaten us. Once he finds that underground passage and sends his territorial legion to invade, both of our territories will suffer." Upon hearing these words, the dark elf not only wasn't afraid, but instead threw a coquettish and flirtatious look. "Your Majesty Ryan speaks as if it's a serious matter, but I don't believe it." King Lich Ryan was speechless. After a long time, it vibrated its spiritual power and said, "Tell Doris that if she doesn't want to come see me, my burial ground will soon disappear from this area." The dark elf was stunned for a moment and said, "Is that overlord from another world really that powerful? Can he really destroy your territory?" "Of course not." The skeletal knight sitting on the back of the skeletal giant bear explained, "What His Majesty means is that we have already prepared to move at any time." Upon hearing this, all the dark elves were stunned, and they all looked at the skeletal King Lich Ryan with a ghostly expression. King Lich Ryan also twitched the corners of its mouth under the helmet. However, it did not continue the topic of moving, but directly informed these dark elves that it would only wait here for their tribal chief, Doris, for an hour. Seeing this, the dark elves looked at each other. Most of their enchanting and delicate faces showed a solemn expression. They analyzed that what King Lich Ryan said was mostly true. After a brief discussion, several dark elves quickly left the group and ran towards the tribe in the rear. After about half an hour, a group of fully armed dark elves appeared here, all wearing tight-fitting, ultra-short leather armor. At first glance, All you could see were long, white legs. Leading the way was a dark elf wearing a sexy inner garment and a sheer black skirt. Her face was delicate and beautiful, with heavy makeup. Her skin was tender and fair, with a well-endowed figure and exaggerated proportions. She walked in high-heeled boots with a cat-like stride. With each step, a shiny leg emerged from under her sheer skirt, exuding a seductive and charming allure. "My dear Lord Ryan, I heard you wanted to see me?" Dark elf Doris flirtatiously raised her eyes and looked at the massive skeletal king, Ryan. Her voice was sweet, gentle, and lingering, like a silk thread scratching the ear, making people feel weak and powerless. Unfortunately, she was facing a group of undead creatures who had long lost interest in low-level amusement. Skeletal King Ryan didn't waste any words. He explained the cause and effect, and then mentioned the plan for an alliance. After listening, Doris, with a seductive gaze, said, "Of course, it is my honor to cooperate with Lord Ryan. I am willing to form an alliance and fight against that otherworldly overlord." Skeletal King Ryan was a little stunned. He didn't expect things to be so simple. Indeed, he still had some face left. After discussing with Dark Elf Doris for a while, Skeletal King Ryan led the group of undead creatures and left. This was how he operated, swift and decisive. Far away, a skeletal mage asked, "My lord, since Dark Elf Doris agreed so readily, could there be some conspiracy?" Skeletal King Ryan waved his hand. "Don't worry, everything is under my control. By then, we will surely make the Dark Elf tribe and the legion of that otherworldly overlord suffer a crushing defeat. Our lord is wise," the undead creatures praised. On the other side, a dark elf asked, "Great Chief, when Skeletal King Ryan approached us for cooperation, could there be some conspiracy?" Dark Elf Doris smiled seductively and said, "What's there to fear? When that otherworldly overlord appears, we will lead him to the burial ground and let him fight to the death with Skeletal King Ryan. We only need to step in at the end and clean up the mess. Our great chief is wise." The group of dark elves praised. The leaders of these two evil forces were both harboring ulterior motives. This is Lin Yu speaking. He had no idea that he had scared the Skeleton King, Ryan. Not only did he dispatch heavy troops to block the underground passage, but he also went to form an alliance with Chief Doris of the Dark Elf tribe to counter his covenant. If he knew, he would give himself a thumbs up. After all, the Skeleton King, Ryan, is a well-known king-level powerhouse in this area. The goblin and dwarf followers in his territory have all heard of the Skeleton King's name. The Butcher Walking in the Dark is the nickname given to the Skeleton King, Ryan, by the surface intelligent creatures in this area, including the people of the two-headed demon tribe. The two-headed demon tribe also fears the reputation of the Skeleton King, Ryan. They dare not easily appear near the entrance of the underground passage. But this local powerhouse was actually intimidated by Lin Yu. This is something to be proud of. After Six-Winged Angel of Strength, Rain, led the Angel Legion out for a hunt, Lin Yu was not idle either. He first used up several cottage blueprints in his hand and built dozens of cottages at once, all of which were upgraded to the middle level. With this, the number of cottages in his territory reached nearly 200. 200 cottages, 6,000 living spaces. And he only has about 3,000 subjects under his command, including the angels. They can easily move in. In a short period of time, Lin Yu doesn't have to worry about the housing problem for his subjects. After building the cottages, Lin Yu returned to the Hall of the Overlord, eating the dinner prepared by Four-Winged Grand Angel, Elena, while putting his equipment on the shelves. The equipment from the blacksmith shop has been delivered. In a whole day, with the efforts of the old goblin, Devin, and 2 goblin blacksmiths, the blacksmith shop produced nearly 70 pieces of equipment. That's 5% more than yesterday. And among these nearly 70 pieces of equipment, there are 2 supreme-grade equipment with special effect attributes. This was a surprise for Lin Yu. After all, the probability of supreme-grade equipment appearing is only 4%. 1% comes from the low-level blacksmith shop. 3% comes from the middle-level blacksmith, the old goblin, Devin. With only a 4% chance, Being able to obtain 2 pieces of supreme-grade equipment is considered very lucky. The level of the 2 supreme-grade equipment is both level 3. Although the special effect attributes are average, they can easily be sold for 2 to 300 gold coins each. The price of level 3 ordinary equipment is 100 gold coins. The price of supreme-grade equipment of the same level can easily be doubled. After all, having an additional special effect attribute is basically equivalent to wearing an extra piece of equipment. Although the price is a bit higher, it can greatly increase combat power. For combat professionals, gold coins are far less important than equipment. They are even willing to give up everything to have a suitable supreme-grade equipment. In less than 5 minutes, a total of more than 80 pieces of equipment were all put on the shelves of the island trading platform by Lin Yu. And the combat professionals who had been waiting on the trading platform quickly snatched up all these equipment. Basically, as soon as Lin Yu put a batch of equipment on the shelves, they were all sold out in the next second. When all the equipment was put on the shelves and the trading platform was refreshed, not a single piece of the 80-plus equipment was left. Don't doubt it, combat professionals at this stage are so crazy. Because among the tens of millions of combat professionals on the island, many are still wearing the novice equipment given by the floating island. Professionals with 1 or 2 pieces of equipment are very rare. At this stage, the demand for equipment by professionals far exceeds the supply. Furthermore, the equipment sold by Lin Yu is mostly of level 2 or 3, which perfectly matches the current level of the professionals. The most crucial point is that the prices are cheap. Compared to those greedy merchants, Lin Yu can be considered kind-hearted. Naturally, the equipment he puts up for sale is quickly snatched up by countless professionals. If you're even a little slow, you won't even see a trace of the equipment. After a short frenzy of grabbing, a large number of professionals quickly flooded into the neighboring island chat channel, all mentioning Lin Yu, strongly urging Lin Yu to sell more equipment. Selling less than 100 pieces of equipment a day is too little. Indeed, it should be tens of thousands of pieces. Tens of thousands of pieces of equipment, that's too exaggerated. Even if Lin Yu's blacksmith shop reaches high level, it's impossible to produce tens of thousands of pieces of equipment in a day, at most a few thousand. A few thousand pieces of equipment a day is already good. With so much equipment, I at least have a chance to grab some. Unlike now, less than 100 pieces of equipment, but there are millions, tens of millions of people fighting for them, and they're gone in the blink of an eye. Appealing to Lin Yu, quickly upgrade the level of the blacksmith shop. Even if it can't reach high level, it should at least be a middle-level blacksmith shop. I heard that as long as there are enough blacksmiths, a middle-level blacksmith shop can produce a maximum of 1,000 pieces of equipment in a day. Selling 1 piece of equipment for 100 gold coins, 1,000 pieces of equipment is 100,000 gold coins. Earning 100,000 in a day. Isn't Lin Yu tempted? With so much money, even the undead would come to help Lin Yu with the forge. For a while, countless combat professionals in the channel were urging Lin Yu to upgrade the blacksmith shop. For them, the 100 or so pieces of equipment Lin Yu puts up for sale every day are really too few to grab. There are millions of combat professionals on the island. If they were to arm themselves completely, they would need at least 100 million pieces of equipment. A mere 100 or so pieces of equipment wouldn't even be enough to fill the gaps between their teeth. Therefore, combat professionals are hoping that Lin Yu can upgrade the level of the blacksmith shop in order to produce more equipment to sell to them. After all, Lin Yu is considered kind-hearted, and the prices are not too high. Rather than being cheated by those greedy merchants, they would rather use the gold coins in their hands to fill Lin Yu's pockets. They don't want to buy equipment and end up being miserably cheated. Seeing the messages in the chat channel, the overlord professionals on the island were envious to the point of red eyes. They work hard all day long and can only earn a small amount of gold coins. On the other hand, even if Lin Yu doesn't do anything, the equipment he produces can be sold for several thousand, or even tens of thousands of gold coins. Where can they reason with that? But they have no choice. Who made Lin Yu the owner of a unique blacksmith shop on the island? This is an advantage. Seizing the advantage allows one to dominate. Apart from envy, they have no other way. At this rate of accumulating wealth, Won't Lin Yu be able to form an apex-level army soon? Almost. Lin Yu already has at least 300 to 400 apex-level units. Wow. This development speed is simply abnormal. Stop being envious. Quickly upgrade your territory to middle level and build a blacksmith shop. Without a blacksmith shop, we can only watch Lin Yu make a fortune. By the way, even if we have a blacksmith shop, it's useless. To forge equipment, you need a blacksmith and equipment forging blueprints. All three conditions are necessary. F***CK. I'm going to sleep. Just a pair of wind boots, sold for 3,460 gold coins. I wonder which profession has so much money. But I think it's unlikely to be an overlord profession. For an overlord profession, it would be better to use so many gold coins to recruit troops and expand the influence of their territory. So, it's not surprising that the person who bought the wind boots is a combat profession. But Lin Yu didn't think much about it and continued to count his other earnings. 2 level 3 supreme grade equipment, sold for 580 gold coins. The remaining 81 ordinary equipment, mostly level 2 and 3, with a few higher level equipment obtained during hunting. These equipment sold for a total of 12,790 gold coins. Adding the over 2,400 gold coins I had before, I now have a total of 19,290 gold coins. This is an astonishing number. Lin Yu couldn't help but take a deep breath. Since arriving on the floating island, he has never had so many gold coins at once. Indeed, equipment merchants are one of the most profitable professions on the floating island. The only ones who can match the speed of making money with equipment merchants are potion merchants. However, potion merchants usually appear in the middle to late stages. After all, at this stage, most professions don't even have enough equipment for themselves, let alone the capital to buy one-time amplification potions. Moreover, the Alchemist's Guild, where potions can be formulated, is a high-level building. It won't appear in the low-level territories of overlord professions in the early stages, so there is no way to start formulating potions. While speaking, Lin Yu calculated again. Nearly 20,000 gold coins. It means I can directly summon 7 fully equipped angel squads, 352 winged angels, and 7 four-winged angels. At this moment, a brilliant smile appeared on Lin Yu's handsome face. I don't know if it's because of being close to the angels and often being influenced by their sacred and luminous magic, his appearance is gradually becoming more handsome. On the blue star, he would definitely be a handsome guy. There is a masculine charm in his beauty. His attractiveness is definitely not low. Of course, this is not very important. Recruiting 7 angel squads at once. Let Elena and Aida work a little harder day and night. I might really be able to form an angel legion in a day and summon a 6-winged angel in a day. Originally, this was just a goal Lin Yu fantasized about. But now, it seems that this goal is about to be achieved. Lin Yu calmed down his turbulent inner world a little, then communicated with Myriad World's floating island with his mind and opened the summoning black hole. Soon, countless dots of light appeared in the black hole. Each dot of light represents an angel. As the group of dots of light continued to enlarge, beautiful and holy figures appeared one after another in front of Lin Yu. After a while, the angels flew out of the black hole in groups. They were all fully armed, the standard silver battle armor, burning angel swords, pairs of snow-white angel wings radiating holy light. Each angel was flawless. Whether it was their appearance, figure, or temperament, there were no flaws to be found. In just a few seconds, 7 fully equipped angel squads appeared. They gathered in an orderly manner in the Hall of the Overlord. If it weren't for the fact that the territory had just upgraded to a high-level village, and the Hall of the Overlord had expanded accordingly, it might not have been able to accommodate so many angels. Greetings, Lord of Holy Light. Praise to the highest. May the Holy Lord be eternal, and the Holy Light be ever-present. Hundreds of beautiful angels crossed their hands and placed them on their chests, bowing their heads to Lin Yu with utmost respect and piety. They all spoke in unison and their movements were uniform. The scene was quite shocking. However, speaking of which, when hundreds of angels gather together, Even if they do nothing, the scene is still stunning and beautiful. Lin Yu smiled in response, then his gaze swept over the 7 four-winged angels who commanded the 7 angel squads. Among them, 5 are war-level four-winged angels, and 2 are divine-level four-winged grand angels. Lin Yu was very happy and immediately named the 2 newly born four-winged grand angels Aisha and Anna. With Aisha, Anna, and Elena, he now has 3 four-winged grand angels who can unleash faith magic, making it easier to spread the faith. The faith magic will be cast down. Believe that even if the enemy is the dual-headed demon tribe, they will most likely kneel on the spot. Praise you, great Lord of Holy Light. Four-winged grand angels Aisha and Anna immediately saluted Lin Yu excitedly. To receive the bestowed names from the Lord is the greatest honor. Lin Yu nodded and said to them, 6-winged angel of strength Rain is currently leading the angel legion to battle against the undead creatures outside. You should join the battle too. Purify the undead creatures on the battlefield with the power of the holy light. Yes, my lord. Aisha and Anna immediately led their angel squads and left the hall of the overlord. The other 5 four-winged angels also left with their squads. It was a great regret for them not to receive the bestowed names. However, they would not envy Aisha and Anna, because they firmly believe that the Lord is fair and loving. As long as they work hard, break through themselves, and serve the great Lord of Holy Light, one day, the Lord's favor will fall upon them. As of now, I already have 17 fully equipped angel squads. With 3 more angel squads, I can summon another 6-winged angel and form the second fully equipped angel legion. Lin Yu felt that, at his current rate of development, he could completely set a bigger goal. That is to look forward to the 8-winged angel. But before that, he needed to upgrade the territory to the town level in order to unlock the summoning permission for the 8-winged angel. Thinking of this, Lin Yu checked the information template of the territory. He needed to know the conditions for upgrading a high-level village to a town. Territory. Level. High-level village, unnamed. Overlord. Lin Yu. Territory buildings. Hall of the Overlord, warehouse, blacksmith shop, watchtower. Spirit field level, level 4. Prosperity, 9,235. Next level, town. Upgrade conditions dash. Condition 1. Prosperity reaches 10,000, incomplete. Condition 2. Possess a clinic, tavern, wall, and 10 high-level buildings, incomplete. Condition 3. 10,000 units of wood, 10,000 units of stone, 10,000 units of iron ore, complete. Looking at the information of the territory, Lin Yu couldn't help but mutter to himself, the requirement for prosperity is easy to meet. Just upgrade some wooden houses and arrow towers to high level, and I can reach 10,000 points of prosperity. I have a lot of basic resources reserved for the upgrade. The main issue is the second condition, the clinic, tavern, and wall. The wall is easy to handle. After upgrading the fence to high level, it can advance to a wall. In other words, I am only 2 steps away from upgrading to a town. Once I obtain the blueprints for the clinic and tavern, I can upgrade directly. Lin Yu was very calm and not in a hurry at all, because there was a crucial factor in front of him. Once the territory is upgraded to a town, he will be completely unleashed. The beast tide and the invasion of the indigenous intelligent races could happen at any time. He will no longer be protected by the rules. So before that, he must plan carefully, finishing up the tasks at hand. Lin Yu walked out of the hall of the Overlord and arrived at the border of the territory. Looking through the wooden fence, he looked at the battlefield outside the territory. The battle at this moment was extremely intense. Bursts of dazzling holy light constantly bloomed on the battlefield. Countless brilliant sword lights crisscrossed. Almost every moment, a large number of undead creatures were killed by powerful angels. However, even so, the attack of the undead creatures remained unabated, and there was even a trend of escalating. In the darkness that the light of the watchtower couldn't reach, there were densely packed undead creatures constantly emerging, like waves of a tsunami, one after another. It felt as if no matter how many were killed, they couldn't be finished. This was a very terrifying situation. The army under Lin Yu's command was much stronger than 2 days ago. A total of 17 fully equipped angel squads, nearly 900 angels, 2 goblin teams, and an elite army of gray dwarves. Such astonishing strength was enough to shock and envy any overlord professional. But even so, they couldn't handle the undead creatures on the battlefield. It's not that the strength of the undead creatures was particularly strong. It was purely because there were too many undead. They couldn't be killed. It gave Lin Yu a feeling as if all these undead creatures were just cannon fodder. They were trying to use the advantage of numbers to wear down his army. However, on the other hand, cannon fodder was still cannon fodder. No matter how many there were, it was meaningless. Because Lin Yu's army was not like Xiang Chu's army, who fought to the death. Once their energy was depleted, the army could immediately retreat to the territory without needing to fight to the death against the vast undead army. Now, the battle had just begun, and the energy of each team was still strong. They were crazily killing the undead creatures on the battlefield, harvesting a continuous stream of source energy. From time to time, golden light would emerge from certain angels. That was the sign of leveling up. In addition to angels, some goblins and gray dwarves on the battlefield also gained levels. Compared to angels, goblins and gray dwarves had very low growth potential. At most, they could reach level 9. The lowest was even only level 7. However, before reaching the limit of their growth potential, they could still level up. Sure enough, it's the same as the revelations on the Blue Star Professional Forum. After the local intelligent creatures join the Overlord Professional, they will transform into territory troops. Troops can obtain source energy. Speaking to himself, Lin Yu shifted his gaze to other areas of the battlefield. Finally, he locked onto Six-Winged Angel of Strength Farain. This beautiful six-winged angel could be said to be the most dazzling star on the entire battlefield. He saw her raise the angel sword covered in countless mysterious runes and slash it towards a group of undead creatures 100 meters away. In an instant, a brilliant sword light exploded in that area. The group of undead creatures was instantly killed. Even their bodies were annihilated. Their souls were extinguished by the sword light in the first moment, and their undead bodies were purified into ashes by the holy and luminous magic power in the sword light. Not to mention intact bones. At a glance, there was only white dust left. Indeed, six-winged angels are truly strong. Lin Yu sighed. He could see clearly that in the area purified by rain, there were several high-level undead creatures. There were level 7 skeleton warriors and level 8 ghoul bosses. As a result, these undead creatures didn't even have time to scream before being instantly killed by Six-Winged Angel of Strength or Rain. Even their bodies didn't remain. It was as if a vast expanse of white land was left clean. Lin Yu muttered to himself, with Rain, this six-winged angel on the battlefield, there's really no need to worry about the sudden appearance of the Skeleton King Lane. 2 days ago, the powerful strength of the Skeleton King Elaine frightened him. Now, 2 days later, he wished that the Skeleton King Elaine would come and die. Only 2 days apart, Lin Yu had achieved the great goal of don't underestimate a poor young man. It can be imagined how terrifying his speed of development was. It was precisely because he knew this that the Skeleton King Elaine sought cooperation with those charming and seductive dark elves, joining forces to resist Lin Yu. Of course, if the Skeleton King knew about Lin Yu's current progress, he would probably restart his relocation plan. Late at night, Lin Yu yawned. He no longer paid attention to the battle outside his territory. He returned to the Hall of the Overlord and went straight to his bedroom on the 2nd floor. After reaching the level of a high-level village, his exclusive bedroom became slightly more exquisite, with a larger area and some immovable and indescribable murals and decorations on the walls. But the most important thing was the bed. It was big, white, and soft. Once he lay down, he didn't want to get up again. Lin Yu curled up in the blanket, brushing the island chat channel while muttering to himself, "A whole day has passed, and my level has reached level 5, late stage. Another step, and I'll be level 6. I thought that at this level, the leveling speed would slow down. After all, each advancement requires a multiplied increase in primal energy. The higher the level, the slower the leveling speed. But I didn't expect that my level would still increase rapidly. This is directly related to my development speed. Last night, I only had 4 angel squads under my command, with just over 200 angels. But tonight, the number of angel squads has skyrocketed to 17, with nearly 900 angels. In addition, there is also a sizable elite team of gray dwarfs. Naturally, my leveling speed hasn't slowed down. If nothing unexpected happens, I can level up to level 6 tomorrow. On average, 1 level per day. Lin Yu clicked his tongue. Once his leveling speed spread to the island chat channel, it would undoubtedly astonish countless professionals, including the overlords who possessed Apex-level units. Because even Apex-level overlords were currently only at level 3, much slower compared to Lin Yu. Around 3 in the morning, Lin Yu had already entered his dream. On the other hand, the battle outside his territory had just ended. The Goblin and Grey Dwarf teams that participated in the battle had long been unable to hold on and returned to the territory to rest early. Only the Angel squads persisted until 2 o'clock before gradually withdrawing from the battlefield. Led by the 6-winged Angel of Strength, Rain, fully equipped Angel squads entered the breeding area in the Spirit Field. As soon as they entered, the Angels took a deep breath. A comfortable expression appeared on their beautiful faces. Such a rich primal force. This is a great place for prayer and cultivation. I feel that just praying here for an hour will completely restore the magic power I've consumed. Listening to the angels' discussions, Rain, the leader of the 6-winged Angel of Strength, said, "Our Lord has informed us that this place helps us achieve bloodline evolution and become higher-ranking angels. So, don't miss this precious opportunity." Yes, Legion Commander. Praise the merciful Holy Lord. All the angels were extremely excited. There was not a single angel who didn't want to evolve, including Rain. Rain's dream was to advance to become a 12-winged throne angel. Afterwards, Rain approached a beautiful 4-winged angel and crossed his hands in front of his chest. Angelia. Rain, what our Lord said is true. Angelia raised her golden eyes and scanned the boundless world, her voice cold as she said, "There is indeed a substance here that can help creatures achieve bloodline evolution. Unfortunately, it is restricted by the rules of the floating island. There is no way to forcefully collect it." While speaking, she glanced at Rain and continued, "Becoming a 12-winged throne angel is not easy, but you still have a chance. Go and pray. Grow diligently and don't disappoint our Lord." "Okay, Angelia." Rain immediately left with joy. Angelia slightly closed her eyes and sensed the evolutionary substance floating in the world. She did not deceive Rain. This substance could not be forcibly collected, but it could be incorporated into her own body through a special method. Gradually, a sacred radiance emanated from her. As time passed, the radiance became dazzling and brilliant. After an unknown period of time, a miraculous scene occurred. A pair of snow-white wings emerged from within Angelia's body and extended behind her like arms. She had evolved. The next morning, Lin Yu woke up. As he expected, he had a good dream last night. As for what he dreamt, it's not convenient to elaborate. Under the attentive service of 4-winged Grand Angel Elena, Lin Yu dressed and washed up, and then finished the breakfast carefully prepared by Elena before stepping out of the bedroom. It must be said that in terms of serving him, angels were much better than young female goblins. They were meticulous in everything, leaving no detail unattended, and he didn't need to worry about anything, plus they were pleasing to the eye. A new day. The first floor of the Hall of the Overlord was once again piled up with a large number of spoils. These were the gains from last night's battle. The number of gold coins alone exceeded 3,000. In addition, there were more than 20 pieces of equipment from the undead camp, as well as several blueprints. From this, it can be seen that in yesterday's battle, the Angel Legion must have killed a large number of undead creatures, at least tens of thousands. Lin Yu first checked the information on those blueprints. After a moment, A hint of disappointment appeared on his face, because there were no blueprints for the clinic and tavern that he currently lacked. But thinking about it, it was normal. Clinic and tavern were both high-level buildings. The drop rate of their blueprints must be much lower than that of basic blueprints like Wooden House and Arrow Tower. It would be really difficult to get them in just one night battle. 3 blueprints for Wooden House, 1 blueprint for Fence, and finally, 1 blueprint for Warehouse. Looking at the warehouse blueprint, emitting a faint golden light in his hand, Lin Yu muttered to himself, "This is a good thing." At this stage, most overlords are unable to upgrade their territories to middle-level villages because they haven't obtained a warehouse blueprint. If nothing unexpected happens, this warehouse blueprint can be sold at a high price. The warehouse blueprint that Lin Yu sold before was auctioned off for a sky-high price of 4,800 gold coins. But that was for a special reason. At that time, many overlords, including the Golden Behemoth overlord who won the warehouse blueprint, were competing to be the first to upgrade their territories and receive the reward. That's why such a high price appeared. Now, this warehouse blueprint definitely couldn't be sold for such a price. But selling it for 1,500 to 2,000 gold coins would be completely no problem. Without hesitation, Lin Yu immediately put the warehouse blueprint and the fence blueprint on the island's trading platform, the former for auction and the latter for direct sale at 500 gold coins. Compared to the warehouse blueprint, the price of the fence blueprint was very low because its drop rate was relatively high. Last night, a total of 3,427 gold coins were obtained. I can directly summon a fully equipped angel squad. As he spoke, Lin Yu communicated with Myriad World's floating island with his mind and opened a summoning black hole. After a moment, an angel squad led by a 4-winged angel and consisting of 52 winged angels flew out of the black hole. With this, Lin Yu now had a total of 18 fully equipped angel squads. As long as he summoned 2 more angel squads, he could summon another 6-winged angel and then form the second fully equipped small angel legion. This goal would definitely be achieved today. I wonder what faction my second 6-winged angel will be? On Lin Yu's slightly handsome face, there was an expression of anticipation. He hoped it would be a commanding level 6-winged Dominion Angel. Of course, it would be even better if he could summon a special angel that was different from the orthodox factions. Under the escort of Elena and the newly summoned angel squad, Lin Yu walked out of the Hall of the Overlord. On the territory square not far away, there were already densely packed figures gathered. At a glance, they were all beautiful and holy angels. Standing at the forefront were 2 dazzling 6-winged angels. Behind them stood more than a dozen 4-winged angels, including Merelda, Maureen, Maddie, Mela, and so on. At the back were the formations of the 2-winged angel squad. Every 52 winged angels formed a group. There are a total of 17 arrays, which means 17 angel squads. Whether vertically, horizontally, or diagonally, they are all straight lines. Just by their appearance, you can tell that this is an elite legion. At this moment, Lin Yu's expression suddenly froze, and he looked again at the 2 6-winged angels standing at the front of the legion. He carefully confirmed that there were indeed 2 6 wings. He wasn't seeing things. The 2 of them were not twins either. One of them was the 6-winged angel of strength, Rain, whom he summoned yesterday. The other 6-winged angel was Angelia. Lin Yu was both surprised and delighted. He didn't expect that overnight Angelia, who was previously a 4-winged angel, would evolve into a 6-winged angel. This caught him off guard. At the same time, it made him feel like he had found a fortune on the ground. The summoning price for a 6-winged angel was 5 times that of a 4-winged angel, a whopping 1,000 gold coins. Angelia's evolution from 4 wings to 6 wings saved him a total of 800 gold coins, which was no different from finding money. Angelia, you've given me a surprise. Lin Yu walked over with a smile on his face. His gaze fell on Angelia's breathtakingly beautiful face. Perhaps because she evolved into a 6-winged angel, Angelia now looked even more stunning and beautiful than the 6-winged angel of strength, Rain, beside her. Praise the Lord. Angelia crossed her hands and placed them on her full chest. Her demeanor appeared both elegant and noble. She slightly lowered her head and respectfully bowed to Lin Yu, saying, "It is the Lord's favor that has given me the opportunity to achieve bloodline evolution." Lin Yu smiled and said, "Regardless, your evolution is something worth celebrating." As he spoke, he checked Angelia's information. Six-winged angel of strength, Angelia, level, mid-ninth level, growth potential, lower true god, possesses battle techniques, holy cross sword, holy light / introduction, belongs to the orthodox faction of the angel race, 12-winged throne angel, growth potential, lower true god, the same as Rain. But Lin Yu looked up at Angelia, his expression astonished as he asked, "How did your level skyrocket to mid-ninth level overnight? Is it related to bloodline evolution?" When he returned from hunting yesterday, Angelia was at the mid-8th level. After one night, she reached the mid-9th level, advancing by a significant realm, which surprised Lin Yu. Angelia respectfully said, "Reporting to my lord, bloodline evolution is a comprehensive improvement, including but not limited to growth potential, soul essence, physical qualities, and internal magic power. It is not easy for living beings to achieve bloodline evolution. It can even be said to be very difficult. However, once successful, the benefits obtained are also tremendous. After the battle last night, my level reached the late 8th stage. With the energy burst during bloodline evolution, my level easily reached the mid-9th stage." "I see." Lin Yu grinned. "So, once angels evolve, not only can they save him a large sum of gold coins, but they can also obtain a huge amount of origin energy for free and break through their own levels. The benefits are truly numerous." He hoped that all the more than 900 angels under his command would evolve. In this way, he could save a lot of gold coins, and at the same time, the levels of the angels would skyrocket. It's simply perfect. In fact, it wasn't just Angelia's level that increased. Lin Yu's own level also increased. While sleeping last night, he advanced from the late 5th stage to the early 6th stage. He didn't even wake up during the process. It truly embodied the saying, "Breakthroughs happen while you're asleep." Looking at the 3 pairs of snow-white wings behind Angelia, Lin Yu suddenly thought of a question. Angelia unexpectedly evolved to the level of a 6-winged angel. Can he still summon the second 6-winged angel he had prepared to summon? If not, wouldn't he be missing out on a spot for a 6-winged angel? Thinking of this, Lin Yu immediately communicated with Myriad World's floating island to inquire. After a moment, he received a reply from Myriad World's floating island. The self-evolving angel is not included in the summoning ratio plan. When the Overlord completes the formation of the second Angel Legion, he can still summon another 6-winged angel to serve as the commander of the Angel Legion. This reply made Lin Yu breathe a sigh of relief. He thought for a moment and said to Angelia, "Are you willing to become a Legion commander?" This is an option, not a command. Angelia also understood Lin Yu's meaning. So, she expressed her own wishes and respectfully said, "Great Lord of Holy Light, compared to leading a legion, I prefer to hunt alone. My desire is to become the most powerful angel under your command and slay all heretical leaders for you." Sure enough, this answer did not surprise Lin Yu. Angelia seemed to be not enthusiastic about power. When she led the angel squad out for hunting yesterday, she flew freely and single-handedly killed multiple high-level monsters, raising her level from level 7 early stage to level 8 mid-stage. This time, Lin Yu gave her a choice between being a Legion commander and a free angel. She chose the latter without hesitation. "That's fine. When I form the second Angel Legion, I can let the newly summoned 6-winged angel take command." Lin Yu looked at the noble and elegant Angelia and said with a smile, "Now, you are already the most powerful angel under my command, but I hope that in the future, you will still be the strongest. Praise you, the Supreme Lord. Your favor is the motivation for my progress." Facing Lin Yu, Angelia slightly lowered her head. The morning sun poured down on her, enveloping her in a radiant glow. The 3 pairs of snow-white wings behind her seemed to shimmer with golden light, incredibly stunning. A new day begins. Lin Yu said to Angelia and the 6-winged angel of strength, Rain, standing in front of him. Last night, I found a few gray dwarves to inquire and learned that there is a passage to the underground world less than 10 kilometers away from our territory. By transmigrating through that passage, you can find the burial place of the Skeleton King, Lane. Your next task is to capture the burial place. However, whether to first eliminate the 2-headed demon tribe or directly attack the burial place, you two can discuss it yourselves. The task is not urgent. Safety is the top priority. Lin Yu didn't say much more and waved his hand to the 2 6-winged angels, set off immediately. I'll be waiting for good news from you in the territory. Yes, great Lord of Holy Light. The 2 beautiful 6-winged angels immediately respectfully obeyed the order. Then, they flapped their 6 wings behind them and flew straight into the sky. Immediately after, a group of 4-winged angels and nearly 1,000 2-winged angels flapped their wings, like a white torrent following behind the 2 6-winged angels, soaring into the sky. Majestic and awe-inspiring. No matter how many times Lin Yu saw it, he couldn't help but be amazed. Compared to them, the goblin and gray dwarf troops in the territory had no sense of presence at all. They rushed out of the territory like a group of bandits on a high. This is the difference between mythic-level units and ordinary units. Just in terms of appearance and momentum, there is a huge difference. As the hunting team left, the territory seemed to become empty again. Only in a corner of the distant square, hundreds of ordinary goblin and gray dwarf believers gathered, diligently dissecting the corpses of monsters from the wilderness. Lin Yu first went to Lingtian. He looked at the growth of Lingmi and Haigu Shueting. In just one day, the Lingmi that was planted earlier had already grown in patches. At a glance, it was all lush green. In another 2 days or so, the Lingmi would be ready for harvest. As for the Haigu Shueting in the corner of the planting area, it had already grown to over 3 meters tall, with its main stem thickening and numerous branches and leaves growing. It seemed to sense Lin Yu's presence. The branches of the Haigu Shueting immediately began to sway. Thin branches extended like tentacles, gently touching Lin Yu's face. As if trying to please Lin Yu. Lin Yu was very satisfied with the growth of the Haigu Shueting and smiled, saying, "Don't worry. Soon you will be able to leave here. Of course, it would be even better if you could achieve bloodline evolution here like Angelia." Upon hearing this, the Haigu Shueting shook its branches more vigorously. It seemed to be indicating to Lin Yu that it would strive to grow in the direction of evolution. Lin Yu grinned and nodded, saying, "Good, that's the spirit." He was not a druid and couldn't understand the language of plants. But as the master, he could vaguely understand what the Haigu Shueting was trying to express. It was a kind of magical telepathy. After chatting with the Haigu Shueting for a while and cultivating their relationship, Lin Yu finally left Lingtian and returned to his territory. He didn't need to worry about the food problem for the Haigu Shueting. Every day, the believers would gather and deliver a large amount of blood, bones from monster corpses, and inedible organs to the Haigu Shueting. It could eat from morning till night. It was precisely because of this crazy feeding that the Haigu Shueting's growth speed was so astonishing. If it were growing in the wild, would it receive such good treatment? After returning to his territory, Lin Yu first used up all 3 wooden house blueprints, and then dealt with the 20-odd pieces of equipment from the undead camp. Ordinary equipment was sold. Supreme-grade equipment was put up for auction. There weren't many, and it was quickly taken care of. Then, Lin Yu opened the warehouse and glanced at the reserve of food. He was shocked when he saw it. In his warehouse, there were a whopping 330,000 units of food. This was a terrifying number. Any overlord professional would be stunned because their food reserves would at most be 5 digits, while Lin Yu's reserves reached an astonishing 6 digits. Among the various types of food in storage, the most abundant was beast meat, exceeding 250,000 units. Because in these past 2 days, the hunting team had killed a large number of wild monsters. In the tens of thousands. Every day, they could decompose a mountain of beast meat. Lin Yu had already put up a large batch for sale, and today it accumulated again. Without hesitation, he took out 200,000 units of beast meat from the warehouse, divided it into levels 1 to 9, and listed them on the island trading platform. Level 1 beast meat came from level 1 monsters. Level 2 beast meat came from level 2 monsters. All the way up to level 9 beast meat. Different levels, different prices. Although it was difficult to sell for gold coins, there was no problem exchanging them for basic resources like wood, stone, and iron ore. Especially the level 5 and above beast meat, which was highly sought after by professionals. Once these 200,000 units of beast meat are all sold, I can basically upgrade all the buildings in the territory, such as wooden houses and arrow towers, to high level. Lin Yu grinned. On the other side, the mighty Angel Legion had already arrived at the entrance of the underground passage. Your Excellency, this is the entrance to the underground passage. Through this passage, we can directly reach the underground world. This is a level 7 elite gray dwarf who has been conscripted, respectfully speaking to Six-Winged Angel of Strength Urain. After exiting the underground passage, if you walk in the upper right direction for 20 kilometers, you will be able to see the burial ground. As the indigenous intelligent race of this area, they are also skilled in cave excavation. The Grey Dwarves are well informed about the information regarding the underground passage. They have even entered the underground world through the tunnels they dug themselves. However, due to the fact that the underground world is the stronghold of evil races and is filled with various dangers, they dare not venture into it easily. I understand. You may leave now. Six-Winged Angel of Strength, Urain waved his hand. After the elite Grey Dwarf retreated to a distance, Rain turned to Angelia, who was standing by his side, and asked, Angelia, in your opinion, should we eliminate the undead heretics in the underground world or attack the two-headed demon tribe? In reality, for Rain, whether it was attacking the burial ground or assaulting the two-headed demon tribe, there was no difference. It was just a matter of sooner or later. He was asking for Angelia's opinion in order to follow it. Angelia calmly replied, Our Lord is more interested in beheading the Skull King Lane. I understand. Six-Winged Angel of Strength Urain nodded. Immediately, he called a team of elite Grey Dwarves and had them enter the underground passage to scout ahead. After a while, the fully equipped angels also entered the underground passage in an orderly manner. Unlike the surface world bathed in sunlight, the underground world has always been in a dim state. This scene has remained unchanged for countless ages. At this moment, at the other end of the underground passage, which is the exit of the passage, a dense crowd has gathered. Skeleton warriors, skeleton hunters, skeleton elites, ghouls, decaying zombies and undead, and so on. They are all undead creatures. There are tens of thousands of them. This undead army is the heavy force used by the Skull King Elaine to guard the underground passage. It can be said that they are a heavy force only in terms of numbers. Their overall strength is average, because the levels of these undead creatures are generally only between level 2 and level 4. There are less than 500 undead elites at level 5 or level 6, and there are less than 20 high-level undead at level 7. Compared to the Goblin tribe and the Grey Dwarf tribe, the strength of this undead army is definitely much stronger. But compared to the current angel army, they are not worth mentioning. However, these underground undead seem to know very little about the situation on the surface world. Our king is too cautious. A mere human. How dare they intrude into the underground world? The underground world is the stronghold of our evil creatures. In addition to our undead, there are dark elves, spider-faced humans, one-eye giants, evil-eye demons. Even if a sacred domain powerhouse comes, they will die. After all, the enemy is an overlord from another world. It makes sense to be cautious. I'm not afraid of that so-called overlord. If he really appears in front of me, I guarantee I can kill him with one strike. Inside the camp of the undead army, a group of high-level undead communicate with each other through mental telepathy. One of the tall skeleton elites said, Since the revival in the underground world, for decades, I haven't seen a human, especially a human from another world. The great sword in my hand is already eager. It needs the hot blood of humans to quench its thirst. It swung the rusty large cleaver on its shoulder. Beside it, a high-level skeleton hunter also nodded its white skull head and responded with vibrating spiritual power. I also look forward to that human overlord appearing in front of me. The other undead creatures laughed raucously. It is evident that they completely disregard overlord of another world. But this is normal. These undead creatures from the burial grounds have been rampant in this area for decades. Even the powerful dual-headed demon tribe dare not provoke them. Not to mention a mere overlord of another world. After all, it has only been a few days since it arrived in this world. No matter how strong the power of the overlord from another world is, how much stronger can it be? If the Skeleton King, Lin, were here, he would surely give them a hard time. These underground undead creatures, who are ignorant of the speed of human development, have no idea how terrifying it is. At this moment, a ghoul boss suddenly raised its head and sniffed the air, saying, "I smell the scent of living beings, but it doesn't belong to humans. It's from that group of cave-dwelling dwarves." Cave-dwelling dwarves are the term used by a few intelligent races to refer to the Grey Dwarf clan. It is filled with insult and contempt. They're here. They came through the transmigration channel, and their levels are not low. The high-level undead immediately turned their gaze towards the underground passage exit. At the same time, they mentally commanded the undead legion that whenever an enemy figure appeared from the underground passage, they should immediately launch an attack. Receiving the command, the undead tightened their grip on their weapons, and the frontline undead began to gather towards the exit of the underground passage. After a while, the area near the exit of the passage suddenly became chaotic. It can be seen that a group of small figures forcefully rushed out of the passage and started fighting with the undead creatures guarding that area. These cave-dwelling dwarves. They have some guts, daring to forcefully enter the underground world. Kill them. Some high-level undead shouted in excitement. But at this moment, the ghoul boss suddenly transmitted a wave of shocked mental thoughts, saying, "Be careful. Behind that group of cave-dwelling dwarves, there are a large number of creatures from the Radiant camp. What astonishing radiance! It's even purer than the light of a bishop-level Radiant expert. Just in time. Kill all those Radiant creatures and let them know that this is the underground world, the forbidden land of light and order." Before this mental thought could settle, countless figures suddenly flew out of the distant passage exit. Each figure emitted a dazzling brilliance and a dazzling light. In an instant, holy light poured down, illuminating the entire passage exit. The nearby undead creatures hadn't even reacted yet and were directly purified into ashes. It was the Angel Legion. They had stormed in. Leading them was the six-winged angel of strength, Rain. Behind her were a dozen four-winged angels, as well as a vast two-winged angel legion. As soon as they appeared, the six-winged angel of strength, Rain, swung a huge sword light, sweeping away more than 100 undead creatures nearby. Following behind, the four-winged grand angels, Elena, Aisha, and Anna, waved their staffs in unison, smashing holy light spells towards the surrounding undead creatures. In an instant, the undead creatures perished in groups. Immediately after, the densely packed two-winged angels rushed into the undead legion like a torrent. But in just a few seconds, the undead legion's front line collapsed. Not because the undead legion was retreating, but because the angels' killing speed was too fast. A legion composed of tens of thousands of undead creatures instantly disintegrated by one-third. They forcefully broke through the undead camp's collapse. Damn it! What are these radiant creatures? Why are they so powerful in battle? Regardless of what creatures they are, kill them. Several straightforward high-level undead shouted and rushed forward. But as soon as they reached halfway, they were instantly obliterated by the descending Aida, Sally, Vina, Josie, and other level 8 angels. Seeing this scene, the remaining group of high-level undead turned their heads and ran in fear. They finally understood why His Majesty the Skeleton King feared that overlord from another world so much. Evil, undead creatures. They should be purified more than heretics. Two beautiful and holy figures flew like arrows, intercepting the group of fleeing high-level undead creatures. It was Aida and Sally. In the eyes of angels, heretics still had a chance of redemption. But undead creatures had no need for redemption at all. They wielded angelic swords burning with golden flames, single-handedly taking on dozens of high-level undead. At the same time, holy light fell from the void, enveloping them. It was the divine magic of four-winged grand angel Elena, the shield of holy light, which could provide war-level angels with a highly powerful magical shield. Divine-level angels not only possessed great combat power themselves, they were also professional support. Holy light slash. Triple radiant slash. Swish, swish, swish. Dazzling sword lights cut through the darkness, instantly shattering the bodies of several high-level undead. Among them were two high-level undead of the skeleton race, whose powerful soul fires could have helped them resurrect even after their bodies were destroyed. However, before their soul fires could release their power, they were forcibly extinguished by the divine and radiant power contained in the sword lights. Their bodies were then burned to ashes by the angelic flames, completely dead. Seeing this scene, the other high-level undead became even more terrified. The stumbling and decaying zombie leader let out a scream and ran away. The zombie overlord jumped several tens of meters high. The ghoul boss frantically waved its limbs covered in sharp spikes, running towards the distance like a frightened dog. Unfortunately, they were not faster than the angelic swords. With a dazzling sword light, the fastest-running ghoul boss was cut in half. The broken body and putrid entrails slid more than 10 meters away under the effect of inertia, creating a mess. Sally, who was chasing from behind, frowned slightly at the sight. With a wave of her hand, she turned it into ashes with an angelic flame. On the other side, Aida was fighting a mid-level 9 zombie overlord. The zombie overlord roared, waving its hands. It didn't have any weapons in its hands, but it had long nails that were several centimeters long. That was its killing weapon. With a swing, it could release gray lights that were as powerful as cutting through the hardest granite in the mountains. Bang, bang, bang. The dense gray lights struck the shield of holy light around Aida's body, but they only caused ripples. Aida's expression remained unchanged as she swung her angelic sword. Clang! With a shower of sparks, the zombie overlord's hands, which were harder than gold and iron, were instantly severed. When they fell to the ground, they continued to roll and struggle. The enemy's strength was too strong. The zombie overlord opened its mouth and sprayed a thick poisonous mist at Aida. Then it took the opportunity to jump dozens of meters away, attempting to escape. You can't run. Aida flapped her snow-white angel wings and blew away the poisonous mist with a brilliant holy light, then quickly caught up with the fleeing zombie overlord. With a few slashes, the zombie overlord died on the spot. Afterwards, Aida continued to pursue other high-level undead. After several rounds of battle, Aida and Sally killed all the high-level undead. None of them escaped. After the battle, golden light emanated from the two of them. That was the phenomenon of leveling up. They had advanced. Their level had risen from late-stage level 8 to early-stage level 9. Their actual combat power could rival that of king-level experts. On the main battlefield, the angel army sealed off the entire battlefield area. Led by one four-winged angel after another, nearly 1,000 two-winged angels were mercilessly slaughtering the undead creatures on the battlefield. The size of the undead army was visibly decreasing at a rapid pace. In less than half an hour, the presence of undead creatures on the battlefield was almost non-existent. At a glance, the ground was filled with pale skeletons and decaying corpses. The scene was horrifying, like hell itself. Lady Rain. A group of four-winged angels came over to report, the battle is basically over. All the undead creatures have been slain. Not one escaped. Six-winged angel of strength, Rain, nodded. In this battle, She didn't do much. She only casually killed some elite undead creatures. Basically, she left the undead creatures on the battlefield to be dealt with by other angels, in order to allow the angels to gain more primal energy and level up. Improving the overall strength of the Legion was also one of the main responsibilities of being the Legion commander. Spread the word. March towards the burial ground. As for the battlefield, leave it to the Grey Dwarves to clean up. Yes, Commander. Soon, the Angel Legion gathered once again. Led by six-winged angel of strength, Rain, they marched mightily towards the burial ground, 20 kilometers away. In the previous chapter, it was 2 kilometers, but it was written incorrectly and has been corrected. For the Angel Legion, this battle was just an appetizer. Attacking the burial ground was the main course. At the same time, in another direction, about 5 kilometers away, a large group of figures suddenly appeared, numbering in the thousands. At a glance, they were all pairs of long, white legs. This was a fully armed Dark Elf Legion, with a scale of 3,000. All the Dark Elves were equipped with black, revealing leather armor and matching leather pants, and either wielded elven longswords or carried quivers and elven bows. A sense of temptation filled the air. Elder. There has been a large-scale battle at the exit of the underground passage. It's a collision between the forces of necromancy and the forces of light. It's highly likely that the overlord from the other world has sent a legion to invade the surface world. A Dark Elf scout suddenly appeared in front of the legion and immediately reported to the Dark Elf Elder who commanded this legion. Upon hearing this, the Dark Elf Elder was stunned. She had a beautiful appearance and a mature and sexy figure. The Overlord's legion from the other world has already rushed in so quickly? The Dark Elf Elder found it hard to believe. In fact, the speed of their Dark Elf tribe was already fast enough. Just last night, the chieftain of the tribe, Doris, had just formed a friendly cooperation alliance with the Skeleton King, Lane. Early this morning, the tribe gathered their legion and rushed towards this side of the underground passage. Their marching speed was indeed not slow. But what the Dark Elf Elder didn't expect was that the legion of the Overlord from the other world was even faster. Their legion hadn't even reached the destination yet, and they had already clashed with the undead legion guarding the passage. What is the strength of the enemy legion? It shouldn't be weak. The Dark Elf scout replied, there was a very strong fluctuation of light magic in that area. I didn't dare to approach it easily, so I came back to report to the Elder as soon as possible. The corners of the Dark Elf Elder's crimson lips curled up slightly. This is good news. The task given to us by the chieftain is to find a way to lead the Overlord's legion to the burial ground and let them fight the Skeleton King Lane to the death. Now it seems that we don't need to meddle in it anymore. Spread the word, march slowly, and let them fight to the death. Yes, Elder. It took the Dark Elf Legion a full hour to cover the distance of several kilometers. When they arrived, they only saw a group of elite Grey Dwarves cleaning up the battlefield. Cave Dwarves. Shouldn't they be creatures from the forces of light? And why can't we see any other race's corpses on the battlefield besides the undead remains? The sexy figure of the Dark Elf Elder stood on a high hill. She gazed at the chaotic battlefield in the distance. Her mature and charming cheeks were filled with doubt and confusion.
Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe.